Level 1. The runner. You start at the bottom. Not a soldier, not a gangster, just a runner. You carry messages, envelopes mostly, thick ones, sometimes cash, sometimes papers you're told not to read. You deliver them to restaurants, warehouses, back rooms behind barbershops. No one explains anything. They just give you an address and a time. Sometimes you wait outside meetings, engines running, doors closed, voices inside speaking quietly. You're not invited in. You're the driver, the kid who moves the boss across the city. One club, then a diner, then a warehouse by the river. You don't ask questions. That's the first rule. You listen, you watch. You remember who respects who gets nervous when certain names are mentioned. It takes weeks before you realize the truth. The errands don't matter. The envelopes don't matter. They're watching you, testing you. Do you talk? Do you panic? Do you ask too much? Or do you keep your mouth shut? One night, a captain leaves a thick envelope on the seat beside you. No instructions, just a location. You deliver it. The man takes it without a word. No signature, no receipt, nothing. When you return, the captain nods once. That's all. But in this world, a nod means something. You proved you can carry weight, and more importantly, you proved you can carry silence. And in this family, silence is worth more than loyalty. It's worth promotion. Level 2. The bookkeeper. The errands stop. Not completely, but now you spend more time inside. Inside offices, inside back rooms, inside the places where the money moves. Stacks of cash sit on the table, rubber bands tight around them. You count slowly. Again and again. Every number matters. You record gambling income, poker rooms, sports bets, cash that flows in every night. You track loans too. Who borrowed, who paid, who is late. Everything goes into the books. But the books aren't real, not exactly. They sit inside fake companies, restaurants, construction firms, car washes, places that look normal, places that hide numbers. Your fingers smell like paper money. Ink stains your hands. You write fast, you write carefully, because one wrong number can start a fight. A captain storms into the room one afternoon, says the numbers don't add up. You check the books again and again. Then you see it. The books aren't meant to be accurate. They're meant to be believable. Believable to accountants, believable to banks, believable to anyone who starts asking questions. You adjust the numbers. The captain reads the page again. This time he nods. The argument disappears. Just like that. And you realize something important. Money runs the family. But the story behind the money, that's your job now. And the better you tell it, the more valuable you become. Level 3. The collector. The books taught you the numbers. Now you learn the pressure. You're no longer counting money, you're collecting it. Every morning the captains hand you a list. Names, addresses, amounts owed. You start with the easy ones. Small businesses, corner stores, restaurants that stay open late. You walk in, you greet the owner like an old friend. Sometimes they smile, sometimes they don't. They already know why you're there. Most payments happen quickly. An envelope slides across the counter. No arguments. Just quiet understanding. But not everyone pays on time. Some people stall. They talk about bad weeks, slow sales, unexpected bills. You listen, you nod, you give them a new date, but your voice changes when you say it, friendly but firm. Because this job isn't about violence, it's about reminders. Reminders that the family is patient, but never forgetful. One afternoon, a bar owner refuses, says the deal was unfair, says he's done paying. You don't argue. You walk around the room, you study the bottles, the tables, the glass mirrors behind the bar. Then you knock one bottle onto the floor. It shatters loudly. The room goes silent. You turn back to the owner and smile. Not angry, not threatening, just calm. 5 minutes later, the envelope appears. That's when you understand something. Fear doesn't come from shouting. It comes from certainty, from people knowing exactly what happens next. And after a few weeks, the neighborhood starts recognizing your face. Doors open faster. Payments come sooner, because word travels quickly. And now, your visits mean something. Level 4. The Negotiator. Collecting money teaches you pressure, but pressure creates conflict, and conflict costs the family money. That's where you come in. You stop being the man who collects problems. You become the man who solves them. It starts with small disputes. 2 collectors arguing about territory. A restaurant claimed by 2 different crews. A driver who paid the wrong captain. Small mistakes. But small mistakes grow into big fights. One night you're called to a sit-down. A private room, heavy curtains, a long wooden table. Two captains sit across from each other, neither one smiling. Both convinced they're right. The boss doesn't want shouting. He wants solutions. So you listen, first to one side, then the other. Everyone talks about respect, about loyalty, about what someone deserves. But you know the real issue. Money. It's always money. You slide a piece of paper across the table. Numbers, percentages. A split that lets both sides win. Not completely, but enough. The room stays quiet for a moment. Then one captain nods. The other follows. The argument ends without a punch thrown. That's when the boss looks at you differently. Because violence is loud, but agreements are quiet, and quiet solutions keep the family rich. From that night forward, you're invited to more meetings, more disputes, more rooms filled with angry men and expensive suits. And every time, you remind them of something simple. Talking costs nothing. War costs everything, and the families that understand this last the longest. Level 5, the financial cleaner. Negotiating peace keeps the family stable, but stability isn't enough. The real problem is money, too much of it. Cash from gambling, cash from loans, cash from deals that never appear on paper, stacks that can't simply sit in a safe. Because money that sits still attracts attention. That's where your job changes. You stop settling arguments, you start cleaning the money. It begins with businesses. A construction company that suddenly grows faster than expected. A small restaurant that reports higher sales every month. A trucking company moving goods that don't always exist. On paper, everything looks legitimate. Invoices, payroll, expenses. But behind the numbers, you know the truth. You create shell companies. Companies that own other companies. Accounts that move money across cities, across countries. You learn which banks ask questions and which ones don't. You learn how to split large payments into smaller ones, how to move cash quietly through systems built to track it. Soon the captains stop worrying about piles of cash, because the money disappears, not lost, just transformed. Street money becomes clean business income. Criminal profit becomes respectable wealth. One afternoon the boss studies the reports. He flips through the pages slowly. Then he looks at you. Good work. 2 simple words. But you understand what they mean. The family doesn't just make money now, it grows it. And the man who controls the money quietly controls everything. Level 6, the political fixer. Cleaning money makes the family rich, but money alone can't stop the law. Sooner or later, police start asking questions. A warehouse gets raided, a truck gets searched, a collector gets arrested during a traffic stop. Nothing major, not yet, but small problems grow fast. That's when the boss gives you a new responsibility. You don't just protect the money anymore. You protect the family. You start meeting lawyers, expensive ones, men in suits who charge by the hour and never ask too many questions. They explain procedures, delays, appeals, ways to slow investigations. But lawyers aren't enough. Sometimes the system needs encouragement, a campaign donation to the right politician, a quiet payment to the right official, a favor returned to the right judge. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, just small decisions. Small delays, small files that move slower than they should. One case disappears. Another investigation loses priority. A witness suddenly changes their story. The police keep working, but they're always a few steps behind. You learn something important. The courts don't run on justice. They run on procedure, paperwork, deadlines, technical mistakes, and the person who understands those systems can bend them. Soon captains stop worrying when someone gets arrested, because they know something. You're already working on it. And in this world, problems that reach the courtroom are just problems waiting to be cleaned. Level 7, the strategist. By now the family trusts you, not just with money, not just with legal problems, with decisions. The boss starts calling you before operations begin, not after. Before. You sit at the table with captains. Maps spread across the desk, routes, warehouses, delivery points. You study everything. Police patrol patterns, traffic cameras, busy hours, quiet streets. You ask questions the soldiers never ask. What happens if something goes wrong? Where do the trucks go? Who talks to the police first? Most crews plan the job, you plan the aftermath. Because a good operation makes money, but a bad one destroys the family. One night the boss asks about a risky shipment. High profit, high risk. The captains want to move fast. You study the map, you move one finger across the route, then stop. Too many patrols, too many cameras, too many chances for a mistake. You suggest a different path, longer, but safer. The room goes quiet. The boss studies the map. then nods. The shipment moves 3 nights later. No problems, no headlines, just profit. That's when you realize something. You're no longer fixing problems, you're preventing them, and the person who prevents disasters becomes more valuable than the men who create them. Level 8, the Consigliere. By now the boss trusts you, not just with plans, with the family itself. You're invited to meetings few people ever see, private rooms, heavy curtains, doors guarded by soldiers. This is where the real decisions happen. Territory disputes, business expansions, new alliances. Every powerful crime family needs a consigliere, someone who speaks calmly when everyone else is angry, someone who sees the long game. You sit beside the boss now, not across the table, beside him. Mafia captains bring their problems to you first, arguments between crews, deals with other families, situations that could start wars. You listen more than you speak, because advice carries weight. A single sentence can start peace, or destroy it. One night, 2 mafia captains argue about a new casino deal. Both want control, both threaten retaliation. The room grows tense, hands tighten around glasses. You lean forward, quietly explain the risk. A war would cost millions, police attention, federal agents watching every move. Instead, you propose a split, shared control, shared profit, no war. The boss studies both men, then looks at you, and nods. The argument ends. That's when you realize something important. The consigliere doesn't command soldiers. He commands decisions. And in this family, decisions control everything. Level 9, the Empire Manager. By now, the family runs like a machine, and you're the one keeping it running. The boss still makes the final decisions. But most problems reach you first. Mafia captains report their numbers. Business managers report their profits. Lawyers report their cases. Politicians return your calls. What once looked like street crime now looks like an empire. Restaurants, construction companies, trucking routes, casinos, real estate, all connected, all moving money through the same system, and every part of it passes through your hands. Morning meetings start with reports. Who paid, who didn't, what deals are growing, what problems are spreading. You solve 10 issues before lunch, a supplier dispute, a police investigation getting closer, a captain asking permission for retaliation. Every decision carries weight now, because when the system grows this big, small mistakes become disasters. Some nights the phone never stops ringing, a truck stopped at the border, a business partner threatening to talk, an argument between 2 powerful crews. Everyone calls you, because the empire depends on something simple, control. But the bigger the empire becomes, the harder control gets. And when something finally breaks, everyone will be looking at you. Level 10, the Cleaner. Empires don't collapse all at once. They crack, quietly. First comes the arrest. One of the captains, picked up during a raid, then a warehouse gets searched. Police everywhere. Boxes opened, documents taken, phones start ringing. Everyone wants answers. But the worst problem isn't the police, it's betrayal. Someone talked. Someone inside the family. Suddenly deals start falling apart. Business partners disappear. Money stops moving. And every captain looks at someone else. The boss calls you late at night, just the 2 of you. No guards, no witnesses. He asks one question. Can you fix this? You already know what that means. The cleaner doesn't remove dirt. He removes problems. You start moving fast, shutting down businesses, moving money across accounts, cutting off contacts, and quietly identifying the traitor. A week later, the investigations slow down. The businesses reopen. The money starts flowing again. The system survives. But one person doesn't. The traitor vanishes. No arrests, no reports, just silence. And that's when you finally understand your role. Not the strategist, not the advisor, not the manager, the cleaner, the one who fixes disasters, no matter the cost. Because in this world, empires don't survive by luck. They survive because someone cleans the mess.